Hello. I'm Tracy Blem with Lazio Mind Body Health and the Ignite Your Life Systems. And today's spark is about, are you over supporting others as a way to not support you? So the spark before this, I talked about, do you have the grit? You have the grit, but do you have the support? Now I want to do the flip side because again, sometimes we are on one side or the other and we can switch between the two. So typically when we're over supporting others, why that is because we are avoiding something. We're avoiding doing something, creating something, changing, healing. So what we'll do is we'll put all our efforts into someone else who may or may not want our support, and we overdo it so that there's no juice left for us. So I'm going to give you some examples because of course I love giving examples. So when I ran my clinic and I had a large team working with me, and the team was great, but what I found was that I was avoiding taking my company into a certain wealth level, right? I'd kind of capped out. I was right here. I was comfortable and all of that. So what I started doing is I started over supporting the therapists. And the therapists worked for me based on commission, and part of their contract was they had to self-promote. And a few of them did. The ones that were highly successful did. But I had this huge smattering of ones that didn't. Like they do the bare minimum and it wasn't really done well. And it wasn't that they were bad people. It was that they weren't willing to have the wealth. So I would chase and I wouldn't coach. I would coax. In other words, I'd try, come on, please, versus asking them questions as to why they weren't doing it. And so I spent a lot of time, and one time I tracked it, and it was 15 hours of dealing with their personal stuff in a 5-day week. So 15 hours out of my 40-hour week. I worked more than 40 hours when I ran the clinic, but I just based it on that 5-day week instead of any weekend work that I did. And when I took a look at that, it floored me because what I could have done with 15 hours for my own growth, for my own wealth, was mind-numbing, right? Like that's 60 hours a month. That's a week and a half of time I was wasting on people who didn't want their own success, right? And that went on for months. It was going on for months, right? Like you would think after the first few times I would have caught on, but no, I didn't. Now, I don't think I'm stupid. I don't think I'm dumb. What I believe and know to be true for me was I was avoiding doing something. So I was over supporting others. I do this sometimes with family members. I actually did this yesterday. So full transparency, I did this yesterday. I facilitate mastermind groups for highly profitable companies. And what happened is I'm taking them through a certain training exercise and they submit their paperwork. We're to skim it and then discuss it in the mastermind. And what I did is I spent an hour per person, so 6 hours in that particular group, and rewrote a bunch of their marketing stuff, put together a 1-year strategy for them, how their customer journey would be so that the customer receives such great results and so on and so forth. And all of that was out of my pocket, out of my dime. What was I avoiding? I was avoiding going through and changing up all my customer fulfillment emails because I wanted to make sure that they were amazing and I felt like I wasn't there yet to make them amazing or, just wanted to dick around or whatever. I was avoiding it. So after I got done 6 hours and I looked up at the clock and went, oh my God, I've lost 6 hours. I've lost basically pretty much a full day of work on my business on stuff that really didn't need to be done. And they may or may not appreciate it. It doesn't matter either way, but I was using it as an avoidance tactic. So I'm over supporting people that don't necessarily need that much support from me at that time, right? Because then when I get into the meeting with them, I will support them again. And instead I've taken out time from myself. If I decide to still get my work done today, then I take away from my family. I might skip my workout then. Like you can see how it can kind of snowball when we're overdoing things that are not part of our primary focus. So how do you overcome this? When you notice it, you ask, truth, what is it that I'm avoiding being, creating, or doing? And everywhere I'm not willing to choose that, I destory and delete it. So that's my clearing. If you've never watched a video from me, the clearing is I destory and delete it. What that does, it pulls out the subconscious or unconscious belief systems that are preventing you from moving forward. So what am I refusing to choose, be, or do is another way you can say that. Then what you do is I like to sometimes get up, walk around, take a breath. Sometimes I even get up and walk around the block and go, what's the value of avoiding this? What's the value of not choosing this? Now, you might instantly say, well, nothing. There's no value there. There's value there if you're choosing it, right? Our values are based on what we're choosing. So I can say, for example, I value family, but if I'm a workaholic and I'm always staying late at work and avoiding my family, I don't value family. I value work, right? So it's getting our thoughts and our words in alignment so that we can manifest easier. So if you take a look, are you over supporting someone? Are you overdoing it for someone? Is it for your partner, for your friend, for your kids, for your parents? At work, are you constantly putting in 10, 15 hours a week unpaid at work? Are you over supporting there? Sometimes the bosses don't even know. Like people like to say, oh, they know. Sometimes they don't, right? Are you over supporting your neighbor, someone at work, at school, right? A coworker. Take a good look at who you're over supporting as a way to not support you, to not do something for you. I hope that inspires you to take a good look. I know for me, I found a lot, and then when I shifted it, I created very quickly. So I even sent an email last night when I realized what I'd done and said, hey guys, I care so much about your success, but I won't do this again. As long as you're aware this is a one-shot deal, I did this because I was avoiding my own work, and I wanted you guys to know so that we have full transparency, right? And please call me on this if you catch me doing it again. That's how I kind of put that back in as a feedback loop so that I have someone else catching me as well when I'm avoiding it. So hopefully that inspires you to take a look at where you're over supporting so that you can create your best life. I hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers.